Hi there.
Hi, Casey.
Hey, Angela.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Well, it's getting cold over here, so we are looking forward to
Ooh.
coming back.
When do you think you'll be back?
Well, we hope that we will catch a flight on October 24th
Mhm.
because, the flight schedules are not the same like before Corona, the COVID-19. So it's just a little bit less. And the Americans, they could come to Europe, and so they are filling up the flights. And so we are still on a waiting list.
Oh
So,
boy. Wow.
yeah. Okay.
Well, at least you're not on a hard deadline or anything. You can be a
No.
little flexible.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. Okay. So you can hear me properly.
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay, because I'm using a headphone because I thought that's better than just the microphone of my laptop. I
Yeah.
have to put on glasses. I'm sorry, because otherwise I can't read it.
Oh,
I'm
don't
getting old.
apologize. I did make you the co-host, so you should be able to share your screen and everything.
Okay, so let's try it because I'm not sure about how to do that.
You sound a little staticky.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure.
It might be when you move, there may be some connection or something in your is your headphones plugged in all the way and everything. I mean, you sound okay. It's just every once in a while I hear a lot of static.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what I could do otherwise.
It's actually just, yeah, when you talk, it sounds a little crackly. Maybe turn the volume down a little bit.
Okay, I can try that. I just have to see how to do that. Microphone.
A lot of times down at the bottom, there's like a little volume button, like a speaker.
Yeah, that's a speaker, but I thought is it better now?
Talk again. Say.
Okay, I will try to. Okay. Okay.
It's still a little staticky. Try unplugging your headset. Yeah.
Okay, so let's try this way. Do you hear me better?
Yes, that's better, but you're very loud.
Okay, very loud. I don't know how to do that because
maybe it's just me. I'll turn you down on my end.
Okay. Because if I turn down the volume, it's just that I don't hear you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I turned mine down and you sound fine now. I think it is better without the headset.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, now let's try to share the screen, okay?
Okay.
Because okay.
That looks good.
Okay, well.
Yep.
Okay. I did not put in the cabbage, but I was thinking about putting in the zucchini blossoms because you can eat these as well, and you have a lot of male flowers.
Yes.
So I put in this. So I just wanted to be a little bit of things that people did not have heard before,
Yes.
And the recipes, I think I will just go over, and if they want the recipe, you can share it with them.
Mhm. All right,
Okay,
I can do that.
okay.
I'm gonna just put in the chat. Um,
So how many do you expect today? Because last week there were just 3 or so, I guess.
yeah, we have 18 registered.
Okay.
And it usually ends up, you get about half of the people that are
Yeah, yeah.
registered. So we'll see.
Okay.
And I guess I'll go ahead and put my email in the chat as well, in case people do want the recipes or something like
Okay.
that.
Mhm. That's a good idea, yeah.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that.
My main problem will be that I pronounce everything correctly. I'm not sure about that. Because, when I'm here for months in Europe and speaking German only, my accent is more heavy on one hand. And on the other hand, there are several things I'm just reading and I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly. But okay, so if there's something really wrong, just hit in, okay?
Okay. You sound good though.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I will also put up our YouTube channel. So yeah, this will be recorded. So we will put it up on our YouTube channel for future reference.
Okay. And did you start the recording already?
Yes, but
Okay.
we can edit out the beginning part.
Yeah,
Alyssa,
that would be great.
yeah,
Because I didn't think about that
yeah,
while I was telling you that I have problems pronouncing the things. So you should not put this in public, okay?
yes, I know. It's set up to record automatically once I open the meeting. That way we don't forget to record, but then
Yeah.
you have to go back in and edit.
Okay. So how is the situation with COVID-19 right now?
Still not good in Florida. It's, I mean, our numbers are still pretty high. I mean, they're expected to go down, I think, in October.
Okay.
But,
Well, last year they did because the temperatures were going down, and so people were spending more time outside. So I'm hoping for that.
yeah. And, we don't have any mask mandates or anything like that.
Yes, I know.
Are people resistant to masks over there? Or
No.
are they?
They are wearing masks everywhere. So
Mhm.
especially inside, and there's a mandate inside. And for example, you may not go to a restaurant. You have to have either a vaccination or a test, or you have to have had COVID-19 so that you have immune things. And
Mhm.
so they are trying to keep the numbers down. And it really is. It's way down in comparison to Florida. So
Good.
yeah. But we want to come back anyway. So because it's getting so cold here. Yesterday and the day before it was nice sunny, and today it's really cold. So it's in the 40s, and that's not my temperature.
Do you get a lot of snow?
In winter time, yes, but most of the time it starts in January. So sometimes you do have some snow in December already, but usually it's just wet thing, that it's just gone the next day. So, but I don't like it. And it's dark here, and so dark and gloomy, and I don't like that.
Mhm. Yeah, winter is awfully nice in Florida.
Oh yes, it is. It is.
Well, we've got one person in the waiting room. I'll let everybody in just a few minutes before we
Yeah. Okay.
start. Well, I hope we get more people.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
yeah, I mean, all of our webinars have definitely, the participation has dropped off.
Okay.
It's not just this or the topic or anything. I think people are just not attending webinars like they did in the beginning.
Okay. Well, hopefully next week, this time we can do it in person again.
Yeah. Yeah, we went back and forth on our membership meeting, which is this week for the master gardeners, but
Yeah.
we didn't get very good response from that. Most people prefer to do it by Zoom than to meet in
Sure.
person still.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that it's just too scary and too risky.
Mhm. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and start letting people in so we can
Okay.
Hello and welcome. We're letting our participants in now. We have a few minutes to go. We do have about 18 people registered, so we'll give it a few minutes. Good morning and thank you for joining us. This is the third in our organic gardening series, and this topic is veggies for your health. We have a few more people still joining us, so if you would like to put in the chat box where you're joining us from, we'd love to know. We do get people from all over Florida and even all over the country. And our speaker today is joining us from Austria. We are recording this webinar, and the recording will be available on our UF-IFAS Extension Manatee County YouTube channel. And I did go ahead and put that in the chat box to see all of the recordings from the different webinars that we offer at Manatee County Extension. I've also put in our website for those of you that are in our local area and would like to join us for classes or other events. You could visit our website for information. My name is Kathy Oliver, and I am a program assistant in the residential horticulture program at UF-IFAS Extension, Manatee County. And we are a partnership organization between the University of Florida and our local county government. So every county in Florida, and in fact throughout the United States, has an extension service which serves the community. And we have lots of different program areas, from commercial programs for businesses and producers, to lots of homeowner programs and family and nutrition programs as well. And my main work is with the Master Gardener Volunteer Program. And the Master Gardener Program is a great service for our community. Master Gardeners answer all kinds of horticulture and gardening questions for the public. And today we are offering the third in our organic gardening series. Our topic is Veggies for Health. And our speaker today is Dr. Angela Fritz, who is well versed on the topic. Dr. Fritz is a master herbalist and a holistic health practitioner. So I know you'll enjoy this webinar. And with that, I will turn it over to you, Angela.
Okay, well, thank you, Cassie. Welcome to you. And as Cassie said already, I'm joining you from Austria. It's 5 p.m. here already, and it's much more cold than in Florida. Today, it's the third, as Cassie told you already, the third session. I will talk about veggies for health and a little bit about herbs as well, because herbs just is my topic. Some of you may know me because I've done something on herbs already for the extension service, and I really enjoy sharing all the information with you. So my name is Angela Fritz, and I'm a master herbalist and holistic health practitioner. I'm vice president of New Medical Frontiers, and very important, I'm an academic member of the American Botanical Council. What you can expect today, I will introduce you to some basics on veggies and herbs, active constituents and nutritional components. I will introduce you to some veggies and herbs. And during the course, I will tell you about how to integrate veggies and herbs in your daily life. And in the end, I will tell you something about preserving veggies and herbs. The focus will be on veggies and herbs you may grow yourself here in Florida, or over there in Florida, as I should say. The scientific validation is mainly provided by the American Botanical Council. The American Botanical Council has a huge database on scientifically validated articles and foundings about everything that's growing. So all herbs and vegetables and everything else that's growing, what's good for your health. And I will refer to the FDA GRAS list, that's generally recognized as safe, the GRAS list. The AHPA Botanical Safety Handbook, that's American Herb Practitioner Association, and the US National Institute of Health. Very important, all information I'm giving today is for educational purposes only, and is not intended to replace advice and treatment by a healthcare provider. I don't know about your metabolism. I don't know whether you are healthy or you have any kind of illness or so, you are taking medication whatsoever. So there may be interactions, but everything I'm telling you is science-based, and it's for your information and for educational purposes. Now let's get started. Many veggies, herbs, and plants in general have active constituents for our well-being to fight illnesses and ailments. For ages, all around the world, people have known about these effects. But it took the chemical pharmaceutical knowledge to find out which constituents are responsible for these medicinal actions. So now that we have this knowledge, it is possible to validate the medicinal efficacy. The active constituents in herbs and vegetables and every plant, every edible plant, I must add, for example, vitamins and minerals. These we think of like nutritions. And as Cassie told you 2 weeks ago, you have to have a good soil that you get a healthy plant. And if you have a healthy plant, then there's good nutrition. So when I'm talking about what's in the plant, you can be sure that it is in there when you have a healthy plant. Then there are volatile oils, that's what you smell. Bitters, that's everything that tastes bitter, and it's extremely important for your digestive system. And then there are phenols and flavonoids and a lot of others, but I will introduce you a little bit more to phenols and flavonoids. Phenols are a varied group of plant constituents, often anti-inflammatory and antiseptic. Plants produce phenols to protect themselves against infection and insects. So if you eat this, the protection, you will just eat this protection and it comes into your body. Examples are rosemary, thyme, mint, and sweet potato. Sweet potato always was my favorite example because I was told that you do not need to buy organic sweet potatoes because you do not need all these chemical things, because the potato skin has a lot of phenols and it will protect the plant against infection and insects. But last week we saw a sweet potato that was rotten by an insect. So obviously it's not all the time that it can protect itself. And then there are flavonoids. Flavonoids act as pigments. They are giving color to flowers and fruits. They are antioxidant and especially useful in maintaining a healthy circulation. Some have anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and liver protective activity. And what's very important, these flavonoids need oil or fat to be dissolved and extracted so that your body can absorb the flavonoids. Examples are carrots, red, green, yellow bell pepper, paprika, turmeric. So for example, when you are like to snack on carrots, you should eat something like peanut butter, cheese or so that has a little bit of fat in it so that the flavonoids really can be extracted by your digestive system. Okay, now I will introduce you to some veggies and some herbs. The edible parts of a plant that are the leaves and tender stems and stalks, fruits, seeds, and roots. The leaves are herbs, salads, then spinach and kale. That are just a few examples. Parsley is one of my really favorite herbs because usually it's just used as a garnish or something because it looks nice and green on a plate. But you know what? It's highly nutritious. Parsley originates in the Mediterranean regions, and it may be considered a natural vitamin and mineral supplement as itself. The seeds have strong diuretic actions and are used like celery seeds. I will come to that later in the treatment of gout, rheumatism, and arthritis. Both encourage the flushing out of waste products from inflamed joints. So if you're growing parsley, just let a few get to bloom and try to get seeds out of it, and then you make a tea out of it or so, because then you have the thing that you really can treat your body with a flushing out of waste products. Use parsley in salads, on potatoes, in every dish that asks for fresh herbs. And the roots can be used in soups as well, so you can cook the roots. And then there's peppermint. As you will have noticed, peppermint is growing really nicely in Florida. And it helps with all kinds of digestive problems, to soothe an irritated bowel, especially used to calm an upset stomach. And research suggests that peppermint has antispasmodic effect on the digestive system. It really helps. I had a client some time ago. She had a daughter. She was always throwing up when her daughter had a test at school. And I recommended to give her peppermint tea before that in the morning, or just taking some with her to school, and it really helped. So peppermint is really calming down your stomach, and it's calming down you anyway. So peppermint tea is something you really should try. And peppermint leaves, just try in any combination of herbs that you are using. It gives just a little bit of a thing. It's just great. And then there's rosemary. Rosemary is thriving here in Florida. and it helps with circulation problems, indigestion, rheumatism. And research suggests that it stimulates the circulation of blood to the head. So it's improving memory and concentration. So just go into your backyard, cut a little string of rosemary, put it in water and drink it. So you have a designer water and it improves maybe your memory and concentration. When you are using herbs, I recommend using a variety of herbs and combine herbs. Choose your own blend. Just follow your taste buds. Use a lot of herbs and so reduce salt. And use a blender and food processor. Do not just take a little bit and chop it down really a lot. When I'm using up, it looks like that. So I put everything I found in my backyard in the food processor, and then I add it to rice, to pasta, to sauces, to salads, whatever I like to. And then there are the leaves you would prefer eating as a salad. Arugula, for example, is a weedy annual that is drought tolerant and prefers a hot, dry climate. It originates in the Mediterranean area and has been naturalized in Northern Europe and North America. Arugula is an extremely nutrient-dense food. It is low in calories and rich in vitamin A, C, and K, folate, magnesium, calcium, and all these help control blood pressure and maintain bone health. It has one of the highest beta-carotene, camphorol, and quercetin contents. All are reducing the risk of chronic disease and cancer. So if you do not really like the taste of arugula as a whole salad, just throw in a few leaves in your salad and you have really a nutritional value in your salad that you would not like to miss. And then there's kale. I usually grow kale in the wintertime in Florida in containers. It originated in the Eastern Mediterranean region and Asia and was cultivated for food beginning by 2000 before Christ. It is a green leafy vegetable that is rich in nutrients, and kale may offer a range of health benefits for the whole body. Possible benefits include helping manage blood pressure, boosting digestive health, and protecting against cancer and type 2 diabetes. You see, all these greeny, leafy things, they are really healthy and helping your well-being. Then there's spinach. Okay, we are not in the times when spinach was fed to little babies and they spat it all over the room because I didn't like it. But still, it's extremely high nutritious. It's packed with good nutrition, high amounts of vitamins and minerals, especially B vitamins and vitamin C, as well as iron. It originates in Southwest Asia and has been cultivated in the Mediterranean area for centuries and is widely used in Europe, Asia, and North America. It has a high amount of carotenoids, beta-carotene, and which help the age-related eyesight problems. And there's current research that examines the use of its phytochemicals against oxidative damage, diabetes, and cancer chemoprevention. Cancer chemoprevention means that some substances are in spinach to stop cancer from developing. So it's before cancer can come into your body, so it's preventive. So eat a lot of spinach as a salad. That's better than cooked, and because you have more of the fresh nutrients. Okay, these were the leaves, and now we go to fruits. Tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelon, cayenne, chili pepper. These are some fruits I've chosen for you. Tomatoes are the most popular fruit in the US. They were cultivated already by the Incas and powerful ingredients is lycopene. Lycopene is used internally as antioxidant and externally in anti-aging products and sun blockers. It may help prevent skin and other types of cancer, as recent research shows, and has benefits for the heart, preventing coronary heart disease and heart attack, as some studies indicate. So there is a lot of research going on, and it's really healthy to eat tomatoes. So if you like it, just go ahead. And then there are cucumbers. They are native to India and Egypt, and they are part of the squash family. Usually they are eaten raw in salads or pickled. 70% of the crop in the US are pickled. In France, the seeds are pressed into oil as a substitute for olive oil. And the health benefits, externally, cucumbers are used to soothe sunburn and tired eyes. And it's extremely healthy to eat fermented pickles. I will talk about fermentation in the end of this presentation because I think that's really something you should think about. And when eating pickles, you should look for naturally fermented or do it yourself, I will tell you in the end. Most pickles you buy in the supermarkets are unfermented, vinegar pickles soaked in vinegar and spices. And then there are zucchini. These are part of the squash family as well. Squash is generally originated in the Americas, but zucchini were first cultivated in Italy. The health benefits are a lot. Rich in vitamins, especially A, minerals and fiber, high in antioxidants. Mostly you find these in the skin of the zucchini. The darker green, the better. Zucchini promote healthy digestion. They may reduce blood sugar levels, may improve heart health, contain soluble fiber pectin, which reduces high LDL, the bad cholesterol levels, and they are rich in potassium, which may help reduce high blood pressure. You should harvest the small zucchini because they are more nutrient dense. In the bigger ones, there's just more water, but not more nutrients. But as you can see from this list, zucchini are one of the really best things to eat, and they are really easy to grow. Okay, we are not talking about flowers right now because I will come to that later, but I will introduce you to zucchini blossoms. You can eat zucchini blossoms as well. When you are growing zucchinis yourself, you may notice that there are male and female flowers. The female males produce the fruit and the male flowers just have a stem. And the nutritional value of zucchini blossoms is not very high because they are so tender, but there is vitamin A and C and some iron and calcium. You may fry zucchini flowers. You just dip it into a spiced pancake batter and fry it. And you can fill zucchini flowers. For example, in Italy, they fill it with a mixture of ricotta cheese and chopped herbs and an egg. And then you place it in a greased pan and bake it in the oven. These are really delicious. And so don't waste your male blossoms. You will use them. You can use both, but you will use the male ones because the females you want to produce the fruit. Okay, and then there's watermelon. Watermelon is a favorite fruit in summer. It's cool, juicy, and sweet. It contains a lot of important vitamins and minerals. It is a very good source of vitamin C, vitamin A, and potassium, and a good source of magnesium, vitamin B6, and beta-carotene. In addition, there's a lot of lycopene, like in tomatoes, and citrulline, which make the path for arginine, an essential amino acid. Both lycopene and citrulline are well researched in terms of heart health, chronic inflammatory diseases, immune system, and anti-aging properties. So if you like watermelon, just go ahead and eat it. It's healthy for you. Last but not least, a fruit, cayenne or chili pepper. The main thing that's important is capsicum. Traditionally used in South America to treat all kinds of complaints like arthritis, chilblains, colic, especially pain relief. And there's research that says that cayenne is a stimulant, relieving muscle spasm, increasing blood flow to the skin. It relieves pain by blocking chemicals that send pain messages to the brain. So when I first heard that it's good for pain relief, I thought, okay, it's so hard that I don't think of my pain anymore. But that's not it. It's these chemicals that are blocked, and they send the pain message to the brain. So it should really relieve pain. There's recent research that focuses on the potential to support overall longevity, prevent diseases, and aid in weight management. Okay, some of you might like it hot, some of you might not. And when you buy cayenne pepper, then you can have a look at the heat unit factor. Less heat means more taste and more intake of the active constituent. And if you grow it yourself, you may notice that some are more hot and some are less. I don't know why, but so in the less ones, the nutritional value is the same. Okay, now let's go on to more flowers. Especially, I will introduce you to broccoli and artichoke. Broccoli, you may have heard as a wonder food, a power food. It originated in the Mediterranean area and was brought to the US by immigrants from South Italy. It is a rich source of vitamins C, K, B, and minerals. There are health benefits that have been found to reduce inflammation in colon and may prevent colon cancer and other cancers. That's one of the main things. But in addition, it's detoxifying. So there are constituents in broccoli that work together with liver enzymes, especially in order to transform toxins into something the body is easier able to excrete. So that's one thing that you really should think about. What's important, eat broccoli raw or cooked, but note, cooking broccoli with water or in water will destroy some vital nutrients. So if you like cooked broccoli, steaming, microwaving, and stir frying does not make the difference to raw, so the nutrients are still there. And then there are artichoke. I know that it's not that popular in the United States, but it's a very healthy plant. The flower petals and fleshy flower bottoms are eaten as vegetables. And the plant chemical cynorrhea is found in high concentration in the green parts of the plant, mainly the leaves. Cynorrhea is considered one of the artichoke's main biologically active chemical. Research confirms that cynorrhea lowers high cholesterol, LDL, increases bile production, and detoxifies and protects the liver. Most recent studies note that artichoke leaves may even reverse liver damage done by harmful chemicals. I was introduced to artichoke in France at first. They cook the whole flower until you can just pick off the leaves, and then you gnaw the flesh of these leaves. And that's very important, because then you get a lot of this cynorrhea. It's not only, not only eat the bottom of the artichokes, but really gnaw off the flesh from the petals. And for medicinal purposes, the powdered leaves are used. This powder is really bitter, so you have to just stir it into orange juice or something like that to just take it. But it's extremely healthy for your liver and for your cholesterol liver. So if you find artichokes on a farmer's market, just go ahead. They are really tasty and they are very healthy for you. Okay, now let's go to roots. Roots are an organ of the plant that absorbs water and nutrients and functions as a storage of nutrients of the plant. So when there are all the nutrients for the plant stored in this root, you will get to eat all these. Garlic is the first root I will introduce you to. Garlic originates in Central Asia and has been used as a flavor for medicinal purposes since thousands of years all over the world. Traditionally, it's used for all kinds of infections. Used as a circulatory remedy, keeping the blood thin, and research shows that garlic helps to lower high blood fat levels, high blood pressure, high blood sugar levels, and has an antibiotic activity. It may prevent circulatory problems and stroke. So it's really healthy to eat garlic. But you have to keep in mind the medicinally active constituent in garlic, allicin, is not ready in the whole clove. So allicin is created while garlic is chopped, crushed, or pressed. Before this chemical process, the medicinal effect is not heat resistant. So make sure you wait 10 minutes before heating. So if you are cooking and a recipe calls for garlic, chop it ahead and then do everything else. And then at the very last minute, you add the garlic to the heat, because then you can make sure that the allicin has been created with this chemical process. Okay, another root, sweet potatoes. It's a Native American plant and has been part of human diet since more than 10,000 years. It is highly nutritious, good source of fiber, soluble and insoluble, minerals, vitamins, especially vitamin A. 1 cup has more than 700% of daily value. You must imagine that. So if you really want to eat something with vitamin A, eat a lot of sweet potato. It's high in antioxidant, and several studies suggest health benefits such as improving eyesight, may help prevent cancer, helps with ulcers, prevents cardiovascular diseases, and can help regulate blood pressure. Eat the sweet potatoes with the skin, because as I told you before, the phenols are in the skin, and the phenols are there to protect the plant and maybe your body to any kind of diseases from the outside. Sweet potatoes are no potatoes, because potatoes, you may not eat the leaves, but sweet potatoes, the leaves are edible and rich in vitamin B, beta-carotene, iron, zinc, protein, and fiber. The best thing is to use it in salads, but you can cook it as well. And then there are carrots. I think that's a favorite from anyone, especially kids love to eat carrots. The cultivation goes back to ancient Greek and Roman times, and in the Middle Ages, the Dutch cultivated the orange color species. So if you're going to some farmers markets, you will maybe see some purple or white carrots. These are other kinds of it. So only the orange colored species we can buy in supermarkets today. The entire plant is edible, so you can put the leaves in salads as well. It's highly nutritious, excellent source of vitamins A, C, B1, and B2. And the health benefits are especially due to high level of beta carotene. Diets rich in carrots may decrease the risk of some cancers. So just put carrots everywhere. My son, for example, he makes spaghetti sauce for his kids and puts carrots in there. But I have a recipe, and I think we can share this with you in the end. It's a chocolate cake where you put finely shredded carrots in, and it's extremely moist, and you do not really taste carrots, but you taste the chocolate, and it's really moist and really great. Okay, another root is beets. That's a superfood as well. They were first cultivated in the Mediterranean region dating back 4,000 years. They contain a lot of vitamins, A, B1, B2, B6, C, folic acid, lots of minerals and fiber. And they are considered a blood cleanser, help lower blood pressure, cholesterol, and triglycerides. Beet greens are also edible. And when you buy beets, you should make sure that you buy the ones with the leaves. You can find these on farmers markets. These are fresh and grown locally. Otherwise, the leaves are cut off. So when you go to a supermarket, usually the leaves are cut off. And how to cook the beets? Just cook it like potatoes. And then you can very, very easily pull off the skin, and then you just chop it up, and you have to put some spices to it because it does not really taste anything. So some are just pickling it, but I like it with just a vinaigrette and maybe some mustard in it or so. So you just have to see that you really spice it up. But they are really healthy, and they are kind of a superfood. Okay, the last root I will introduce you is, no, it's not the last one. I have another one as well. It's ginger now. Ginger is cultivated plant starting around 5,000 before Christ and originates in the Southeast Asia. And it's traditionally used as a remedy for many digestive complaints and as circulatory stimulant. Research suggests that ginger is highly effective for motion sickness and relieving postoperative nausea. But most of all, it regulates the blood pressure, and it may help with high blood pressure by improving the circulation. And you have to find out for yourself. To do this, you make a ginger tea. And because ginger regulates the blood pressure, it may also help with low blood pressure. So you have to find out how your body is responding to it. But it may be really a good source for you if you have problems with high blood pressure to improve your circulation. Okay, now the last root I'm introducing to is turmeric. Turmeric is native to Asia and has been used in traditional medicine for ages. It's spread via emergence roots and has been found in Israel in a tomb dating from the 2nd millennium before Christ. And that's really interesting because it is said that turmeric is mentioned in the Bible as well as gold. When the three kings come to Jesus and bring the gifts, all the gifts are herbs that are good for inflammation. And one of these is gold, and it's not really gold because in these days, turmeric was called gold, and the golden spice. And so it's supposed that the talk is about turmeric. So it's more than 2,000 years ago that we know about the value of turmeric, but today with the research, we now know a little bit more about it. So traditionally, it was used to improve liver action and reduce the risk of stroke and heart attack, and useful assisting in skin conditions like fungal infections and psoriasis. And latest research suggests that turmeric is a powerful anti-inflammatory, may lower cholesterol, increases bile production, and has a protective active action on stomach and liver. It may be valuable preventive remedy for the risk of developing cancer. So, for example, there is less colon cancer in the areas where they eat a lot of turmeric in Asia and India. And so there's a lot of research behind that, and research suggests that one of the main reasons is that they eat a lot of turmeric. Okay, these were the roots, and now we are talking a little bit about seeds. Within every seed, every tiny seed, there are nutrients for the seedling that will grow out of it. Most seeds are rich in oil, vitamins, minerals, and proteins. How to use seeds? You can cook the whole seeds, but better is you grind the seeds. You can use a pepper grinder or a coffee grinder, just whatever you like, but don't buy ground seeds because, because of the shelf life, there's not enough nutrients left in it. Caraway and cumin seeds. This is one of nature's really interesting things because caraway originates in Europe and cumin originates in North Africa. Both look a little bit alike. They, if you know, taste differently, but both are traditionally used for illnesses of the digestive system, reducing gases, abdominal distension, used in bronchitis and cough remedies. They are a good source of all kinds of minerals and a good source of dietary fiber, calcium, and iron. Cumin is also mentioned in the Old Testament because cumin, the origin was North Africa. But both different plants have the same nutritional value, or almost the same. The next seed I would like to introduce you is coriander seed. Coriander seed is the seed of the cilantro plant. So when you're growing cilantro in Florida, you just turn around and it's flowering and producing seeds. So don't be disappointed because the seeds are extremely healthy and you should really eat these and use these. Traditionally, these seeds are chewed to sweeten the breath, especially after eating garlic. In the Arabian areas, they have, when you had a meal and you are the cashier, then they have not bowls with peppermint little sweets like we have in the United States, but with these seeds so that you can sweeten your breath. Research suggests coriander is a gentle remedy for bloating and cramps. And latest research even suggests coriander may reduce the uptake of heavy metals when eating fish. And there are encouraging results in the treatment of diabetes. So it's really good to eat these. And the best thing is you grind it before you put it to your food. And coriander seeds are a good source of vitamin C and all kinds of minerals. Then there are celery seeds. The first cultivation of celery happened in the Mediterranean region. And celery and the whole plant is rich in calcium, sodium, copper, all kinds of minerals and vitamins. And it's a good source of dietary fiber, and it benefits the cardiovascular system. But as you can see in the pictures, some of the crops are planted for the bulbs, for the roots. Especially in Europe, there's a tradition to eat these bulb roots. And in the United States, you have the stalks. Everything you eat from the celery is really healthy. But then you have, I would like to tell you something about the seeds, because the celery seeds are diuretic and have marked liver protective activity. They are traditionally used for the treating of rheumatism and gout because of the cleansing process. They help to disinfect the bladder. It's the same thing I told you already about parsley. So you can eat everything of this plant. Okay, these were the vegetables and herbs I wanted to introduce you to. And now I want to tell you something about preserving herbs, because I hope that you will have abundance of vegetables and herbs that you will harvest, and maybe you do not want to cook everything all at once, and so you have to preserve it a little bit. And I want to put your attention to fermentation because of the probiotics. Probiotics are live bacteria your body needs in order to digest properly. And they are found naturally in your body. Your colon depends on these good bacteria, and in certain foods. Lactobacillus, the most common probiotic bacteria, is mainly found in dairy products, yogurt, and fermented foods, such as sauerkraut, fermented veggies and pickles, sourdough, as well as in fermented hot sauce. So when you are buying hot sauce, just look at the label. Some of the hot sauces are really fermented. Lactobacillus occurs naturally on fruits and vegetables. In an oxidant-free environment, the bacteria converts sugar to lactic acid. And when looking for fermented food, choose barrel cured or naturally fermented to make sure it is not pasteurized, because pasteurization kills the live active bacteria, also the good ones. And in the fermenting process, salt is used in order to grow the good bacteria and prevent growing mold. By the way, vinegar itself is produced through fermentation process, but only vinegars that remain raw and unpasteurized, such as raw apple cider vinegar, retain part of the mother culture, which provides a good bacteria. You can buy this. It looks, it's not clear, this apple cider vinegar, and it's better than the normal one. So you can do this yourself. All you need is a mason jar, something to weigh down your vegetables, water and salt, 1 tablespoon salt, non-iodized, per cup of water. You should use natural spring water. That's the best. Do not use tap water because the chlorine kills good bacteria. Vegetables, washed, peeled, finely chopped like you would eat it raw. And then you just have to let it ferment. Store in a dark, cool place, 65 to 70 degrees. That's a challenge in Florida. But because 65 to 70 is not your room temperature and it's colder in your fridge. But in the cold winter months, when it's cooler outside, you may use your garage or so to store your veggies for fermentation. That should be the right temperature. And 3 days to 3 months, you have to taste it. The brine will get murky and veggies may change color. That's normal. So this is in a nutshell, but I did found on the website modernfarmer.com. So this text here is from this website. They have 3 really good advice how to prepare the vegetable first. The finer you chop or shred the vegetables, the faster they will ferment, and the greater the quantity you can stuff in your jar. You can also ferment things like carrots, onions, radishes, beets, even whole cabbage leaves. It's primarily a matter of personal preference and how you intend to use the finished product. And depending on the vegetables, wash and peel as you would if you're going to eat it raw. Then you have to add brine. Salt prevents mold organism while favoring beneficial bacteria and results in a crisp, textured, fermented product. Stuff the vegetable in a mason jar or fermenting crock, you can buy these, and cover them with brine made from 1 tablespoon of salt per cup of water. I told you already to use non-iodized salt and preferable bottled spring water. Mix in herbs and other seasoning as desired. The key is for the vegetables to remain submerged in the brine. Anything that is exposed to air will rot. So for vegetables that float, find a way to weigh them down. You can buy fermentation weights as the easiest way to go. But on the other hand, when you have a jar, just have a glass where you fill water in it so that you can really weigh it down. That's one way as well. In former times, when the old people did the fermentation, they just put a cloth on it. If using a mason jar, tighten the lid until it's barely snug, they say. This prevents oxygen from entering, but lets carbon dioxide escape. Otherwise, pressure can build until a messy explosion occurs. So you really have to be careful about that. So don't tighten the lid too much. And so I think it's better not to really tighten it at all. So when you have a weight that you put on top and just put a cloth on top, maybe that's better. Fermentation crocks typically have water seal for this purpose. Store in a cool, dark place. We had that already. Fermentation times vary from 3 days to 3 months or more, depending on the vegetable, temperature, and other factors. The only true guide to know when it's ready is taste. Is that you want a pleasant thing, enjoy your pickles. And yeah, very important. When you have the optimal flavor, move the batch to the refrigerator to stop further fermentation. So again, veggies, you can try to ferment any veggies. So carrots and ginger, for example, are nicely. Whole radishes, cauliflower, onions, and carrots cut into bite-sized chunks. And spices that I used are turmeric, chili flakes if you like a little bit hot, coriander seeds, mustard seeds, and maybe a little bit cumin. So you really should try this fermentation. It's fun, and the only thing is you really have to see that it's not getting moldy. So you really have to weigh it down that it's all your veggies are under the brine, so under the water level. Okay, I've put in here how to preserve fresh herbs. You can freeze these in bags, freeze in ice cubes, or you can dry it in your oven. Place herb leaves on a cookie sheet, 1 inch deep or less. Put herbs in an oven on low heat, an open oven, not close it, less than 180 degrees. And for 2 to 4 hours, you can see the herbs are dry. You can check if the leaves crumble easily. Or you can buy a food dehydrator, because in Florida, it's not that easy to dry herbs. In Europe, you just have a string and then you hang it up. But in Florida, the humidity is too high. And one other thing to preserve your fresh herbs is you make your own herbal salt. Be creative, design your own blend so there is no herb that's not to go or has to go in it, and decide yourself on the best herb salt ratio. if you use more salt, then you do not have to store it in your fridge. If you use salt, it's better to store in the fridge. Be careful seasoning with herb salt, it's still salt. And try Mediterranean salt, it has more minerals and adds to the flavor. Okay, thank you. That was my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Thanks so much, Angela. I always learn so much from your presentations.
Well, thank you.
And if anyone has questions, you can put them in the chat, or since we have just 6 participants, if you would like to unmute and ask your questions directly, please feel free to do that. I have a question for you, Angela.
Okay.
I make a cappuccino every morning, and I sprinkle a little bit of turmeric and cinnamon in my cappuccino. And I do the turmeric mainly for the health benefits. I don't add enough to really flavor the coffee. But what do you think about very small amounts daily, as opposed to, they usually recommend, teaspoons full?
Oh no, you know what? Even a little bit is better than none. I put turmeric, for example, in my oatmeal in the morning. And the best thing is for turmeric, you put it in everything that you don't mind that it gets yellow. Because only if you use a lot of turmeric, then it has a little bit of a bitter flavor. Otherwise, it will not really have a flavor. So just go ahead and put it in wherever you want to put it in.
So if we have no other questions, we have a comment. Thank you. Great information. Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.
And I wanted to, if you do have further questions, you can email me, Kathy Oliver. I did put my email address in the chat, as well as some other information for contacting the Manatee County Extension Service. And I also put up in there our next class next week, Tuesday, September 28th, kind of goes along with our organic series. It's Compost Happens, how to compost at home. And that's presented by our Florida Friendly Landscaping Program.
Okay, you can email me directly as well. It's angela.fritz@newmedicalfrontiers in one word.com. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and I will be happy to answer it.
Thanks, Angela. It's Becky. We missed you.
Thank you, Becky. I saw you were here.
Hope you're doing well. I always, like Kathy, I always learn an awful lot from everything you teach us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Okay, well, with that, I don't see any more questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And we hope to see you in the future as well.
Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate it. It's been a good series.
Thanks, Becky.
Thanks
for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.